I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a detailed look at the Topo Designs Global Travel Bag 30 liter, which I've been testing for the last month. Let's dive in. So starting off with the materials on this here, we have a couple of different combinations. Essentially all of this is recycled nylon. It's just a mix of 1000D, 400D, 210D, and then on the back here we've got 1680D recycled ballistic nylon. So in general, across the board, recycled materials, which is really great to see. The actual pack itself, there is a 40 liter option. This one here is the 30, but it does expand out to 35 liters technically once you fill everything up. So you can see on the edges here, you have a little bit of extra room to work with. And if it's not filled out, it really does flatten down. What's really nice about this packet, it does have a pretty subtle profile. So, looking at the side here, there's not a ton of depth to it, which is really nice. It fits great as a carry-on. Took it on a couple of flights, fits really nicely in the overhead bin. And partially because of that more low profile shape, it feels really nice on as well. So I'm just going to kind of walk through the outside features here. We have YKK zips across the board and then Woojin hardware. And then additionally, we have these like pack fast attachment hooks where if you wanted to attach another Topo Designs bag, that's where that sort of system starts to work in. You could attach like the day pack on the front of this here. We have some webbing on the front to attach carabiners, any additional gear that you wanted to bring along that you wanted to keep on the outside of your bag, like a water bottle or like attach a ball cap or something like that. And then on the sides here, we have 2 water bottle pockets. So these ones here are pretty small. You can see I've got a hydro flask in here. I believe this is this is an 18-ounce hydro flask. And so you can get it in there fairly easily once it's already in there, but I haven't put it in this side yet. So let me see if it'll show you how kind of tough it can be. So it has like the elastic on the side to expand, but it doesn't actually expand super well. So you can see like once I start to pull it out, you sort of hit a point where it doesn't want to expand anymore. And so what I have to do is like really push the water bottle down into the pack itself and then wiggle it in there. On the plus side, it's super secure. If I shake this back and forth, that water bottle's not going anywhere. The disadvantage is that anything over this like more slim 18-ounce bottle really doesn't fit super well, or if at all. Can kind of give you an example here. Here's a slightly larger bottle, and this one doesn't really want to go in at all. And so you're pretty limited to these smaller bottles. On the other hand, you could just put additional gear that you wanted in here, like if you wanted to keep an umbrella in here or a pair of sunglasses. You don't have to use it as a water bottle pocket, but if that is a function that is really important to you, a smaller bottle is really going to be the only thing that fits. So I'm just going to put this off to the side here. So we'll look at this harness system for right now. We have 2 stowaway backpack straps. I'm going to put these away so you can kind of see what that looks like. They just tuck right into this compartment here and zip right up. When you have them packed up, you can't really feel them, and part of that is because that interferes with this laptop compartment here, which I'll get into. But in general, they stow away pretty nicely. You can't really even see that they're there, and there are a couple different ways that you can carry this bag. So you have this top carry handle here that you can use, or on the other side, depending on your preference. I usually carried it on this side so that all of these zippers were facing up. So when I needed to get into the bag, I could just really easily zip and unzip it, but it is nice to have the handles on either side just in case. So in addition to the carry handles, we have these 2 little hooks here, and that is to use the crossbody strap. So I'll show you how that fits. So I've got this right here. The one side hooks right there, the other hooks here, and it does have, a full 360 swivel. So once you get it on, it's pretty easy to get the placement right. And then you can carry it, just on one shoulder or do a full cross, a crossbody. And so I found that this was fairly comfortable once it was like high enough up. I'm going to hold this so it doesn't bump the mic or anything. But I did notice that in general, this wasn't like the most comfortable carry. You can see that in general on my body, it's just a little large. So I use this mostly if I was just like, I didn't want to mess with the backpack straps, but I was just going to be like going from point A to point B if I was using it as like an overnight bag or for like a quick couple of days. And I just wanted to, stick it in the car without the straps getting in the way or anything like that. So fairly simple to carry that way. And these do come included as well at the time of this review. And they're quick, easy to remove. I'll set that off to the side. And then on the back here, like I mentioned, carry handle, crossbody, messenger style, and then with the backpack straps. So while this is kind of free and clear, I'll show you this back panel here. You have a luggage pass through, nice and large if you want to lay that on your rolling luggage. And then this is a removable hip belt that just adds a little bit of additional support. And then if you don't want it, you can just, remove those gatekeeper clips and take that off entirely. So take off these straps, say you wanted to put it into backpack mode. These are fairly easy, you just take them out. Same deal with the gatekeepers. You just engage them on this side here, and then the other side as well. I have a love-hate relationship with gatekeeper clips, but they're fairly easy to get on. And then you have these backpack straps themselves, and then you have load lifters as well, which really does help give you, that additional support. So I'm gonna put this on for you as well. You can see how it fits. I never really found myself needing the hip belt, but it is there if you do want it or need it. Have the sternum strap here. Could I kind of keep it from bumping the mic as well. And then this just sort of fits very snug on, and these load lifters really do help a good amount as well to keep that weight more balanced and centered. The actual straps themselves are a little bit scratchy. So on this back here, it's not too terrible, but if I did have, a tank top on and a little bit of like a sunburn or something like that, then that's something that I did notice. But in general, it was comfortable carry. There's a decent amount of padding. You can see that thickness there. So once this was all like fully packed up and fully filled out, it was nice and comfortable on my shoulders. And then this slight adjustment with the sternum straps, you can kind of move it along this slight, like anchored rail system, and then hook any additional gear that you want there. And so fairly simple strap system there, but nice and comfortable as well. And then that stays out of the way. I also kind of like that they were down here a little bit once they started to stow away, because it felt like it lifted the pack up just like even a little bit more. If the straps were like all the way up top here, it would just sag just a little bit more. It felt like with these load lifters, there was a little bit of additional room, which was nice. So going into the compartments here, we have this top zippered compartment, and this holds all of your quick grab items. There's a tiny little like baby key leash here. So if you wanted to make that larger, you can always just like attach additional string or something like that. But in general, it's nice. It sits right in the center. So when you have these two zippered pockets filled up, your like bulky keys kind of sit in between them, which is a nice little design thoughtfulness. And then you have two zippered pockets here for quick grab items. So I can show you what I have in there, but one thing that I did notice is that these ones were kind of tough to just like if I was just opening it, I can get it all the way to the end, but just a quick open, really, like it would stop for the most part around here. And so it kind of limited the amount of space I felt like I had when I actually wanted to, do that unzipping. You can see my fingers bump there, and then I lose a little bit of that extra track. It's not anything that's not workable, but it is just a little bit of a nuisance. So in here I have my phone, and my wallet on the one side, and then passport as well. And these are fairly deep, so my fingers are right here. They go the entire width of that top pocket. And then same with this side. Here I have, you know, headphones or anything else you want to kind of keep quick access on the plane is really great in that spot. And then the rest of the pocket is open and available for any additional gear that you wanted to put in there. And then there is a additional pocket here. And so these slip pockets are nice. Here is where I kept my keyboard for my laptop. And then on the other side, I have my mouse and the power bank. But the one thing I will say is that these are like kind of narrow and really deep. So the stuff that fits in here is kind of like limited, or it's more, I guess, specific to specific types of gear. So like say, you know, I wanted to put my passport in here, it goes all the way down to the bottom. And so like I kind of showed you with this power bank and this mouse, they're all the way down here, and you either have to stack or this is kind of dead space. And so I found that usually what I would do here is I would try and either like include a pouch if I had one that would fit, or just stick with the larger, longer, thinner items that would fit very nicely in that pocket. So once something did fit, very satisfying, but because they are longer and skinny, I found myself kind of ignoring those pockets. But you do have a little bit of a bucket shape here as well. This is where those like extra liters come in. And that's going to be great if you wanted to just shove gear in here. If you're not too worried about like organization, or you have a bunch of additional pouches, then that's really great because everything slots in nicely. And then here is a zippered pocket. I just have a notebook in here, and that goes all the way down as well. So you do have a fair amount of storage space just between these two pockets combined. And then additionally, both the main compartment and this compartment here have this lockability built in. So I'll show you what it looks like with this main compartment, just because we're going to get into that next. But with the main compartment, what you do is you just kind of feed the zipper pulls through. And these are like a corded, braided zipper pull. They're nice and soft and stretchy. And so you just feed it through, and then, you know, if somebody wanted to try and get into your bag, they can't get past this little loop here. It does get a little bit annoying to do every single time, so I really only messed with that if I wanted the extra security, but you can zip all the way down to here essentially and not utilize this, and it's still nice and secure. So going into the main compartment, it's essentially just a dump pocket. So there's a couple of like features missing between this one and the larger size, one of them being that top like zippered panel. So there is no zippered panel in this smaller size. However, you still have a decent amount of space to work with in terms of packability. So the sides here have a little bit of cushion in them, and they are fairly structured. You know, just the bag open as it is right now, you can tell that there's a decent amount of space and a decent amount of structure to really load things in. I just have 2 or 3, I guess, rather, packing cubes to kind of give you an example of what fits in there. But if you didn't want to use packing cubes, it's really easy to like kind of slot your clothes in one by one, which is really nice, you know, if you're not like super into pouches or anything. And then on this side here, you have 2 zippered compartments that have a decent amount of, you can see how much like space and give there is between these two. And then there's additional top space there. And what I usually put here was like once I used a pair of clothing or like undergarments or anything like that, I would have like one with all my clean undergarments, use that as like a makeshift pouch. And then when I had used them, I would put them in the other one. Or I would do additional accessories like a hat or, you know, toiletries or anything like that. If I kind of was like not using a ton of pouches, then I would use these pockets for that, and they worked really great for that. They are fairly large, so I would recommend if you're going to be doing a ton of small items to put those larger pouches in there. But in general, you know, you have a ton of space to work with. Within this main compartment here, with that additional padding, you can kind of see like where it starts to mesh with these backpack straps. So when the backpack straps are out and engaged, they're creating a little bit of a lip, but it's really easy to just manipulate that to flatten it out. And then, you know, you've got back to this normal amount of space here. And so I'm gonna close up that main compartment. And so between, you know, between all of the compartments here, you have a decent amount of space. And then if you wanted to bring along additional tech, you have this back tech compartment, which is the last compartment. So I have a 13-inch laptop in here, but it does fit up to like most 15-inch laptops. But the one thing that I'll say with this is that the zipper itself, kind of like with the water bottle pockets and like this top pocket here, just like things kind of getting in the way when I'm trying to unzip. This is the same way. So you can see that when I have this zippered shut, it's great. Open it up and it starts to run into this backpack strap lip, but you have a decent amount of zipper track left to work with. You know, it goes all the way down here. And so that's what you're really going to need for those larger laptops, because even with, you know, my 13-inch, say that's where the zipper track ends for me. I go and I stick that in, and it's a little bit, I can't just like stick it in sideways. I can if I open up the zipper a little bit more, but if I just go there, I kind of have to like stick it in vertically, shift it horizontally once it gets in. And this was something that we noticed with the 40-liter as well, how it gets a little bit tight in there when you're trying to get your tech in. It does technically fit that 15-inch, but the smaller your device is, the easier it's going to be to fit in when you have this zipper pull kind of getting in the way. So there you have it, the Topo Designs Global Travel Bag 30-liter. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.